Marcus Aurelius, the Roman emperor and Stoic philosopher, embraced the power of silence and self-discipline in his life. Stoicism, a philosophy focused on rationality, virtue, and control, offers timeless wisdom for personal growth. Through Marcus Aurelius's teachings, we learn that silence is not just the absence of noise, but the presence of clarity, wisdom, and inner peace. Let's dive deeper into Stoicism's relevance in today's world. The power of silence in Stoicism. Stoicism, a philosophy rooted in ancient Greece and later embraced by the Romans, has long been admired for its emphasis on rationality, virtue, and emotional resilience. One of the core practices of Stoicism is silence. Marcus Aurelius, perhaps the most famous Stoic philosopher, understood that silence was not simply the absence of noise, but a powerful tool for cultivating wisdom and self-control. In today's fast-paced world, we are often bombarded with noise, both external and internal. From the constant chatter of social media to the ongoing stream of thoughts in our minds, it can be difficult to find a moment of true quiet. However, Marcus Aurelius's teachings remind us that silence is an essential practice for anyone seeking peace of mind and clarity in their actions. Silence in Stoicism is about more than just refraining from speaking. It is an active practice of turning inward and reflecting on our thoughts, emotions, and actions. By embracing silence, we create space to observe our surroundings, our reactions, and our inner dialogues without being overwhelmed by them. This stillness allows us to respond to life's challenges with reason rather than impulsive emotion. Marcus Aurelius, in his Meditations, frequently writes about the importance of controlling our speech and actions. He advises that we should speak only when it serves a greater purpose and adds value to the situation. In many instances, he encourages us to let go of unnecessary chatter and focus on the things that truly matter. For example, in Book 2 he writes, "In the morning, when you rise unwillingly, let this thought be present: I am rising to do the work of a human being." This line speaks to the notion of embracing silence in the face of adversity. It encourages us to pause, reflect, and prepare for the day ahead with purpose, rather than rushing into conversation or reaction. Silence allows us to center ourselves before engaging with the world. One of the most profound aspects of silence in Stoicism is its connection to emotional control. By choosing silence, we create a buffer between stimulus and reaction. The Stoics understood that our initial emotional responses are often driven by external factors that are beyond our control. However, our reaction to those stimuli is entirely within our control. Silence gives us the opportunity to pause, detach from the emotional storm, and decide how we wish to respond. In situations of conflict or tension, silence can be a powerful tool for maintaining composure. Rather than reacting impulsively or saying things in anger, Stoic silence allows us to assess the situation rationally and choose our words carefully. In this way, silence fosters a deeper sense of understanding and self-mastery, two of the core virtues of Stoic philosophy. Marcus Aurelius often speaks about the importance of living in accordance with nature and rationality. Silence is an essential part of this, as it provides the mental space to align our actions with our values. In today's world, where distractions are constant and opinions are loud, silence offers a refuge where we can reconnect with our true selves. Another important aspect of silence is its role in self-reflection. For the Stoics, self-awareness was crucial for personal growth. By regularly engaging in quiet contemplation, we can better understand our motivations, weaknesses, and strengths. This practice of self-examination allows us to make informed decisions, rather than reacting to life based on impulse or unchecked emotion. In his Meditations, Marcus Aurelius frequently refers to the need for introspection. He often speaks to himself, reminding himself of his duties and virtues, urging himself to remain calm and focused. His Meditations, written in private, are a testament to the power of silence in shaping the mind and strengthening the spirit. In the modern world, we can apply this Stoic principle of silence in many aspects of our lives. Whether it's taking a few moments each morning for quiet reflection, practicing mindfulness throughout the day, or choosing not to engage in every conversation or argument, we can find opportunities to embrace silence and, in turn, find peace. This silence is not about avoidance, but about creating the mental space needed to respond thoughtfully, to understand deeply, and to act with wisdom. Moreover, silence enables us to listen more effectively. In conversations, we often rush to speak or offer solutions before fully understanding the other person's perspective. Stoicism teaches that the wise person listens first and speaks second. By embracing silence, we give others the opportunity to express themselves fully, which not only enhances our relationships but also fosters a deeper understanding of the world around us. The power of silence extends beyond personal reflection. It has profound implications for the way we engage with the world. In a society that often values noise, whether through social media, public opinion, or constant activity, choosing silence is a radical act. It is an act of reclaiming control over our thoughts, emotions, and energy. As Marcus Aurelius writes in Meditations, waste no more time arguing about what a good man should be. Be one. Silence, in this context, is not just a tool for reflection, but an active means of embodying the Stoic virtues of wisdom, courage, justice, and temperance. Through silence, we can align our actions with our values and make a meaningful impact on the world around us. Why talking less leads to greater wisdom. Building upon the idea that silence is a powerful Stoic tool for clarity and emotional control, we now explore a central principle that ties into Stoic teachings: the idea that talking less ultimately leads to greater wisdom. This principle is both practical and profound, especially in a world where words are often used without thought or purpose. For Marcus Aurelius and other Stoic philosophers, the emphasis on talking less is about refining the quality of our speech and embracing the wisdom of restraint. In the modern age, the act of speaking is often seen as a necessary way of asserting one's identity, communicating needs, or establishing authority. However, Stoicism challenges this view, offering a radically different approach: the quieter path, where fewer words lead to greater understanding and personal growth. Marcus Aurelius, in his Meditations, often reminds himself to control his impulses and choose his words with care, recognizing that speech is not simply about quantity, but about intention, precision, and purpose. One of the key Stoic beliefs is that our inner world shapes our external reality. Therefore, talking less is not just about reducing noise, but about cultivating a deeper connection with our thoughts and emotions. When we speak too much, we may fail to consider the true meaning behind our words, leading to misunderstandings, unnecessary conflicts, and even personal regret. In contrast, talking less encourages us to listen more, to observe before reacting, and to respond with intention. This focus on intentionality transforms speech into a tool for wisdom. The power of silence lies in its ability to create space for reflection. When we speak less, we give ourselves time to digest information, contemplate our emotions, and assess the situation before reacting. This pause is crucial, especially in challenging or emotionally charged situations, where impulsive responses can lead to undesirable outcomes. By resisting the urge to immediately respond, we allow ourselves the opportunity to access our rational minds, applying reason and logic before taking action. In his famous writings, Marcus Aurelius teaches us that the best revenge is to be unlike him who performed the injury. This Stoic sentiment underscores the importance of not allowing our emotions to dictate our words. When we speak in anger or frustration, we often say things we don't mean, which can have lasting repercussions. On the other hand, when we practice restraint and speak with intention, we avoid unnecessary conflict and preserve our relationships. The wisdom of talking less is also tied to the Stoic value of humility. Many times, we speak out of a desire to be heard or to assert our knowledge. However, a Stoic approach emphasizes the importance of humility, recognizing that we don't always have the answers, and that listening is just as important as speaking. By talking less, we embrace the art of listening, which is an invaluable skill for learning and understanding others. When we listen attentively, we gain a deeper understanding of the situation at hand, and we are more likely to respond in a way that is thoughtful and measured. As Marcus Aurelius wrote in his Meditations, everything we hear is an opinion, not a fact. Everything we see is a perspective, not the truth. This Stoic reflection underscores the importance of observing and reflecting before offering our own judgments or opinions. By talking less, we can avoid speaking from a place of ignorance or bias, and instead offer insight that is rooted in wisdom and truth. There is also a deep connection between talking less and the cultivation of inner peace. When we reduce the volume of our speech, we are more likely to reduce the mental clutter that often accompanies overcommunication. Our minds become less clouded, more focused, and more attuned to the present moment. In this state, we can access a greater sense of clarity and stillness, which is essential for making decisions and living a life aligned with Stoic principles. Furthermore, talking less is not only about the individual, but also about the broader social context. In our society, there is often pressure to be constantly engaged in conversation, to fill every silence with words. Yet, Stoicism teaches us to resist the impulse to conform to societal norms that prioritize talking over reflection. By talking less, we are not only enhancing our own well-being, but also demonstrating self-control, humility, and wisdom to others. This can inspire those around us to adopt a more thoughtful and measured approach to communication. In many ways, the less we speak, the more we allow the quality of our actions to speak for us. Stoics believe that our actions should align with our values and our virtues. In a world where words are often cheap and fleeting, actions that reflect wisdom, self-discipline, and virtue carry far more weight. As Marcus Aurelius put it, "Waste no more time arguing about what a good man should be. Be one." This sentiment suggests that true wisdom is not about eloquent speech, but about embodying the virtues we hold dear. The ability to speak less is also a reflection of emotional intelligence. Those who are able to control their impulses and resist the urge to speak immediately often possess a greater sense of emotional maturity. This maturity allows them to navigate complex situations with grace and wisdom, choosing their words carefully to avoid escalation and foster positive outcomes. Additionally, Stoic philosophers, including Marcus Aurelius, valued silence as a means of developing personal virtue. By not speaking in moments of frustration, pride, or fear, we can build resilience and strength. This resilience enables us to maintain our composure in difficult situations and remain focused on what is truly important. The act of talking less becomes a practice of temperance, a key Stoic virtue that helps us maintain control over our desires, impulses, and reactions. Finally, talking less fosters the kind of stillness and mindfulness that is essential for spiritual and intellectual growth. The quieter we become, the more we can hear our inner voice, the voice of wisdom and reason that guides our actions. By reducing external noise and distractions, we open ourselves up to deeper reflection and understanding. This process of introspection leads to greater self-awareness and personal development, which are at the heart of Stoic philosophy. In conclusion, the Stoic practice of talking less is not just about reducing the quantity of words we speak, but about cultivating quality, intention, and wisdom in our communication. It is a powerful tool for self-mastery, emotional control, and personal growth. By embracing silence and speaking only when necessary, we can lead more purposeful lives, embody the virtues of Stoicism, and become better listeners, thinkers, and leaders in all areas of our lives. Stop reacting to every stimulus. Embrace emotional control. Building on the previous discussion about silence and talking less, the next principle in Stoic philosophy is emotional control. Specifically, the power of choosing not to react impulsively to every stimulus. In a world where people are constantly bombarded with external triggers, emotions can run wild, leading to rash decisions, misunderstandings, and unnecessary conflict. However, Stoicism teaches us a different approach: to pause, reflect, and then respond thoughtfully, rather than allowing every external stimulus to dictate our emotional state. Understanding the Stoic view of emotion, Stoicism doesn't seek to suppress emotions, but instead advocates for understanding and controlling them. According to Marcus Aurelius, the mark of a wise person is not the absence of emotions, but the ability to control them. This is where the Stoic idea of preference comes in. Stoics understand that while we may feel anger, frustration, or sadness, these emotions are not inherently bad. What matters is how we choose to react to them. The Stoics believed that our emotional responses are based on our judgments. For example, if someone insults us, we may feel angry, but that anger is a result of our judgment that the insult is offensive. According to Marcus Aurelius, we have the power to challenge these judgments. You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. Thus, instead of reacting impulsively, we can take a step back, reassess the situation, and choose a more rational response. The power of pause. One of the most important lessons in Stoicism is the value of a moment of pause. When we feel anger rising or stress building, we often act out of impulse, saying things we don't mean or making decisions that we later regret. The Stoic solution is simple: pause. Before reacting to any external stimulus, whether it's an insult, frustration, or stress, take a moment to breathe, reflect, and consider your response. This brief pause allows us to regain control over our emotions and respond in a way that aligns with our values, rather than reacting out of immediate emotion. For example, Imagine you are stuck in traffic and running late. The frustration you feel might tempt you to honk the horn or yell at other drivers, but the Stoic approach is to pause, recognize that the situation is beyond your control, and choose to accept it rather than resist it. Marcus Aurelius himself often reflects on the importance of accepting what we cannot control. In his Meditations, he writes, "Reject your sense of injury and the injury itself disappears." By practicing emotional control in these everyday situations, we build resilience over time. The more we pause and reflect, the less we allow external events to dictate our inner peace. The role of rational thinking in emotional control. Rational thinking is at the heart of Stoic emotional control. When we allow emotions to take over, our thinking becomes clouded, and we lose sight of what truly matters. The Stoics teach us that the mind should always be governed by reason, not by fleeting emotions. For instance, when faced with criticism, instead of immediately reacting defensively, a Stoic would pause and consider the validity of the criticism. Is there a lesson to be learned? Is the criticism truly meant to harm, or is it a suggestion for improvement? Marcus Aurelius reminds us in his Meditations, "The happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts." This quality of thought comes from stepping back, examining our emotions, and making a rational choice about how we will respond. Practicing self-restraint in social situations. Emotional control is particularly important in social interactions. Many of us are often tempted to react to provocations or disagreements with quick, emotional responses. But the Stoic teaches us to be mindful of how we respond. We must remember that not every action warrants a reaction. Sometimes the wisest course is to remain silent, to listen, or simply to walk away. This doesn't mean avoiding conflict or suppressing our feelings. Rather, it means choosing to act from a place of wisdom rather than impulse. By doing so, we avoid escalating conflict and maintain peace in our relationships. Marcus Aurelius's advice to us is simple but powerful. Waste no more time arguing about what a good man should be. Be one. Instead of arguing or reacting emotionally, focus on living virtuously in your interactions with others. The long-term benefits of emotional control. The immediate benefits of practicing emotional control are clear. Fewer outbursts, less regret, and more meaningful relationships. However, the long-term benefits are even more profound. Emotional control enables us to make better decisions, to navigate challenges with grace, and to remain resilient in the face of adversity. Over time, this practice shapes our character and cultivates the Stoic virtues of wisdom, courage, and temperance. Ultimately, emotional control is not just about avoiding negative emotions, but about aligning our reactions with our deeper values. It's about embracing the Stoic ideal of living in accordance with nature and reason, and finding peace amid external chaos. Learning the art of self-reflection, a key Stoic practice. Moving forward from the idea of emotional control, we now explore another fundamental Stoic practice, self-reflection. Marcus Aurelius, throughout his Meditations, emphasizes the importance of daily reflection as a means of cultivating self-awareness and aligning oneself with Stoic virtues. Self-reflection is the mirror through which we can examine our actions, thoughts, and motivations, and it serves as a compass to guide us toward a more virtuous life. The role of self-reflection in Stoic philosophy. Self-reflection is at the heart of the Stoic way of life. For Stoics, life is not just about reacting to external events, but about actively shaping our inner world through thoughtful introspection. Marcus Aurelius practiced daily reflection, using his meditations as a way to talk to himself and remind himself of his duties and virtues. In his reflections, he would question his actions, challenge his assumptions, and strive to better understand his emotions and thoughts. In his famous writings, Marcus Aurelius often asks himself, "What am I doing? Why am I doing it?" These questions aren't meant to induce guilt, but rather to inspire clarity and self-awareness. By examining our own behavior, we can gain insight into our motivations and identify areas for growth. Self-reflection allows us to align our actions with our values. It's easy to be swept away by the busyness of life, but taking the time to pause and reflect helps us stay true to our principles. Marcus Aurelius's own reflection reveals the importance of self-examination. The unexamined life is not worth living.